Thank you, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. People are still coming in, but thank you guys for joining. You've reached a Socialite production. My name is Janet Capet. I am going to introduce our beautiful guests in a moment. But before we, get into it, I do want to open up with a quick prayer, as I always do. So, Father God, we just thank you for this day. We thank you for life, health, and strength. I thank you for Marquia James, who is brave enough to come on just to share her heart and to share her journey with all of you guys. As I always pray with all of my Facebook Lives, I pray that everyone will hear and see you through the individuals who are speaking. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
All right. I see more people are coming in. Welcome, you guys. Welcome. I just want to give a quick overview for those who aren't familiar with the Socialite production or who may be new to the platform. Real quick, it's a company started last year. Really, it's a social platform that's built for storytelling. The goal is to bridge the gap through faith, culture, and entertainment. And we do this through the art of storytelling, telling people stories. The goal is to bridge the gap between mindsets and perspectives. So much more to go into, but that's a quick overview. We have a bunch of live conversations that we've done thus far. They're all on the Facebook page of Socialite Production. There are some on YouTube. More content will be coming there. So if you're interested, I will put the handle in the chat after this conversation for you guys to follow if interested. But we're going to go ahead and get started because we have a loaded amount of things to talk about. And while this conversation is going to be 90 minutes, and 90 minutes, a lot of times it's like 30 minutes. So We're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to introduce this beautiful lady who is in front of us today. Her name is Marquia James, for those who do not know her. She is a beauty artist, a makeup influencer, and owner of GlamQui Artistry. She's been in this business, I'm gonna say business. She's been in this business for over 14 years. She has a wide variety of clients. I don't even know if she can count or she lost count, but wide variety of clients, from brides to entrepreneurs to public figures, political figures. And I must highlight this one because it's a big deal and it's very important. I'm not going to say biggest client because she doesn't even look at it as such, but the most recent client is the Vice President of the United States, Miss Kamala Harris. And so Marquia was a part of history earlier in the year as her beauty artist. And we're just so proud of her. I'm saying we're, meaning me and my sister, but we all are proud of you, Marquia. But before I go into allowing Marquia to introduce herself, I kind of want to just do a little bit of storytelling myself of Marquia. I'm going to have Marquia introduce who she is to you guys, but I first want to talk about who she is to me. Marquia is my little sister, even though
gosh.
Don't get it twisted. You still love it.
Okay.
So, we met Marquia, we meaning me and my two sisters met Marquia years ago. Marquia is my younger sister, Tanya Cape. Bestie, that's how they call each other. Yeah, of course. I'm sure she's in the chat doing the same. But that's her bestie / sister / BFF for life. And because of that, and through that connection, she is our little sister. I don't even call her friend, it's sister. And so Marquia, the topic of this conversation is love is. And when you think about love, that is Marquia. That is what she exudes from the inside out. She is just a beautiful soul. She's also crazy. Don't get it twisted.
Don't get it twisted.
Crazy. We're gonna try to behave, you know what I'm saying? Because but we may get a little whatever. But just one quick story before we move on. So, for those who don't know me, I'm a first generation Liberian American, born here in the States. My parents are from West Africa, Liberia. So we were raised in the Liberian culture. And then, of course, we went to school, whatever else is American culture. So one of the things this platform does as well is to bridge the gap as it relates to cultures. And so Marquia, she is our adopted Liberian cousin or sister or, whatever have you. That's the
Yes.
she reps
Yes.
outside of the United States. So when we were younger, I forgot what grade. I think they were in maybe junior high school. I don't remember. But she came over to the house.
Oh Lord.
So there's a popular West African dish called fufu and soup. Okay. This thing, I will never forget this. Fufu and soup is delicious, right? But if you're new to it, it's an experience because the fufu, you're not supposed to chew it. You're supposed to swallow it. Me, I do it half. I kind of gnaw on it a little bit because it's very intimidating to try to swallow it whole. But anyway, so she came, my mom cooked it. We were all at the dining room table. So Marquia was trying to be cool, like, she of the culture. She tastes, and I think her problem was she took a big glob of it. When she swallowed it, she was like, oh, oh, there's a water.
But I tried to chew it. I tried to
You were confused.
I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where this was going.
She was confused, y'all. It was so funny, but she was trying to be respectful. So I think I said it. I was like, you don't have to finish it if you don't.
I was like, oh, thank God.
So next time we'll eat, we should have Easter it with jollof rice or something. But anyway, that is a funny story that I.
But now I like it. Now I do. I
know,
like
but it was a.
I know it. I know that first time was. It was crazy.
So for those who are trying fufu for the first time, just chew it or take a small little glob. But anyway, I just thought to break the ice with that story, in which I didn't mean to laugh so hard. But we're gonna move into the conversation. I first want Marquia to introduce herself, not what she does, but herself as a person. And from there, we'll get a little bit into her profession before we get into the conversation. So Marquia, tell the people who you are.
So Marquia is free. Marquia is chosen. My personality is, like you said, I have a big heart. I'm compassionate. Some would say I'm very chill. You say I'm crazy.
You're both.
I'm a little both. It's funny because when Tanya and I were in school, and Tanya is Jonette's sister, my bestie. We used to, have middle school issues, right? And she used to tell me what the issue was, what was going on. And I just used to be like, child, it ain't that serious. And she, no matter how big or how small it was, it just wasn't that serious.
Yeah.
So that's me. Like, I'm very much go with the flow. I'm very chill. Yeah. But most importantly, I am chosen to be here in this moment.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I knew she was going to give a good, deep description. So I love it. I love it. But now let's just talk a little bit about what you do in your career. I know I touched a little on it, but excuse me. Let me pause. I forgot to mention two important things as it relates to Marquia. We're proud of her for many reasons. Another reason is because of her purpose partner. My little brother, Stephen James, her husband, we love him dearly. You talk about love is, that dude been loved since, day one.
Day one. And he's very much a part of the purpose you see standing in front of us today. So he may because I think he's going to come in and walk. I just heard the garage door open.
Okay. So I'm going to make
a box of pizza.
Okay. So I'm going to make him say hi to you guys. But yeah, he's very much a part of her purpose, and she'll get into that as well. But I had to make sure I included that as part of the introduction. And her dog, Mason, of 11 years. Small dog.
My little baby. my fur baby.
Yes. Yeah. So you can go ahead and proceed in reference to your profession, what you do.
So I am, like Jonette mentioned earlier, I'm a beauty artist. Some would say makeup artist. I say beauty artist because I see the beauty and bring out the beauty in everyone that I touch. I am, well, first of all, I work with a mentor. So new artists, up and coming artists that are, just trying to find their way. I work with them, mentor them and kind of help them to navigate into the industry.
Yeah.
I consult. So I teach virtually. I teach one-on-ones. I teach groups of just everyday women of how to do their makeup, correctly. I have all types of clients from all different backgrounds, and I absolutely love it. I work with brides. I work with moms. I work with just women celebrating their birthdays, celebrating special moments. I work with people in the political world. I work with CEOs. There is just any woman, actresses, models, other entrepreneurs. Oh.
Hi, Steph. Rob. Come and say hey to the people.
Oh, hey, everybody.
That's my love right there. And yeah, and as you mentioned, I work with the most powerful woman in the world, yes. VP Kamala Harris.
Yeah. And before we go on, because I know all of your clients are important, but I don't want to skip the fact of you working in that position, you going to the White House, into different places, right? Because it's more than just about makeup. It's purpose,
right? It
right?
Is purpose.
And so let me just go with it, because I'm saying I'm maybe getting ahead, but how was that feeling, especially being there during the inauguration and everything? How was that feeling, knowing the vision and your purpose in being there? Just kind of talk about that a little bit.
It felt absolutely amazing, because I felt like God had chosen me to be there. And that's why I bring up chosen. And I felt like he trusts me in the position that he put me in. And he prepared me for the position that he put me in. So, and everything was in his timing, because I feel like if I were to be in that position probably 5 years ago, I wouldn't have been ready.
Yeah.
Or I wouldn't have the right perspective, and I wouldn't have been so driven by purpose. So, and it's different. It's different being around a lot of, White House officials and politicians. It's very serious and I could have back then, if I was put in that position, I could have questioned, why am I here? Gotcha. Right. But God gave me the confidence, because he loves me. He gave me the confidence to be there and be present and walk in there with my head held high, and walk in there and do purpose.
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. And what kind of just darted out, like shot out at me, is when you said he chose me.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter who comes against you. It doesn't matter who has something to say. It doesn't matter what you have to say. Right. God does not put you in any position that you're not equipped to succeed in. And one thing about you, about Marquia, everyone, in one of the promotions, I said, love is, what is that? Well, I said confidence in the unknown. And so I'm not sitting here acting like Marquia's always been confident. Yeah, I know my purpose, but that would be a lie.
That would be a lie.
The difference is your perspective. While you may not be so confident in what he has called you to do, you're confident in doing it because he has called you to do it. So he's in that control. And that's a part of your story that people don't know. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So when you say love is, she already pretty much kind of started to touch on that. He loved her enough to trust her, to prepare her. And mind you, that's just her story, but he loved all of us enough to trust us and prepare us. But our minds sometimes hold us back. So Marquia, when you think of the term, or when you hear the term love is, and I like love in all caps because it's just powerful. Yes. Love is. Love is what?
Love is confidence. Love is freedom.
Yeah.
Can we talk about freedom?
Let's talk about freedom. Let's talk about freedom.
Let's talk about freedom. I mean, love is faithfulness. I mean, that's what love means to me.
Yes.
I mean, there's so many other things, but for me, love means that he chose me for a time such as this.
Yes. Yes. And so when you talk about love, you know, for those, you know, everybody has their own interpretation, right? But I want to make sure I paint your story and tell your story accurately, right? So when you talk about love, another part of that love, that umbrella is his love. His love meaning who? How does that other part of love help, you know, help
Christ,
who you are today?
Christ's love. Yeah, he, you know, I can take it all the way back to childhood, and I have to give thanks to my parents because they actually grounded me and gave me the foundation for my faith. You know, I was in church every Sunday. I was in Bible school. I was singing on the choir. So I thank them because my parents were younger when they had me. So, you know, because that was instilled in them, you know, they passed that along to me and my brother. So they made sure that we knew who God was. And, you know, I thank them for that.
Yeah.
And so knowing that, it really prepared me for my faith journey. Because when I was younger, I did experience a tragedy because my brother did pass away when he was younger. He was 6 and I was 12. And, you know, I say it was the darkest time of my life, but also the lightest because that's where my faith journey started. So, I was, when that happened, so my brother, when he passed away, he was, you know, struck by a car, unfortunately, and I was with him. And, you know, automatically, you know, there was a spirit of guilt in my grieving process. And with guilt, there's loneliness. There is a sense of, why am I here? Why am I here? And I was, you know, I was mad. I was mad at God for taking him. And I was mad at God for, you know, just not, just the feelings that I was feeling through my process of grieving. But God, but God, you know, it was a lot of mental back and forth. Absolutely. Because I knew who God was, but at the same time, I was going through such a dark moment in my life. Yes. And it was very hard as a child, 12 years old, to navigate through that. So with that, you know, just walking through that journey of, you know, is this going to be the feeling that I have for the rest of my life? God, where you at? Because I know there is a God, but where are you? So, and he spoke to me through people that I, like mentors. I was a dancer. I had a group of people that, you know, surrounded me in dance class, my dance teachers. So I didn't walk through it alone. Because God had sent, I'll call them angels on earth, to come and help me navigate through that time. So he was carrying me through
Yeah.
it. So to the outside, you know, what people saw seemed very normal, which is weird, right? Because, you know, I'm going through this dark moment and this heartbrokenness and this this loneliness. And what everybody else saw was not that. So how does that happen, right?
Yeah.
You know, how does that happen?
No,
so it definitely, you know, looking back, I know that that was God, and I know that it was Holy Spirit moving with me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, my question, which you already answered, you know, I was going to say, how did you discover his love? And it was through tragedy, unfortunately, right? I mean, you started, you know, your parents thankfully started that foundation, right? A lot of people think their relationship comes from going to church, and that's not
that's not where
it's when life happens.
But exactly. It sets a foundation though, because I will say it definitely sets a foundation. Because even though as a child I was going to church, I knew who God was. I didn't quite understand, you know, faith and how that worked, but it wasn't until the tragedy happened that the faith journey began.
Absolutely. The real journey. And you were at a really young age. There's others who they don't get to that stage until adulthood, right? So, you know, what you said was key because we didn't see that. Now, Tanya knew more because that's your bestie, you know, so you shared everything with her.
Don't roll your eyes when you say that.
Ain't nobody coming between these two. But no, it's a beautiful relationship. So I'm just joking. I like to mess with them. But, you know, while we knew, we didn't fully know. And even though you were broken, God was still working through you because you were a light. You didn't even know it.
And it's funny that you say that too. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I cut you off?
No, go ahead.
It's funny that you say that because that's what he sent people who told me that. So, you know, as much as it was hard to believe it, if someone's telling you you're a light, you're special, you can do anything, you're going to be okay. Like that was God speaking and moving through that journey with me.
It's weird to say it's beautiful because it was a tragedy, but it was beautiful. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah,
you know, it's a transformation that took place. It's finding purpose through pain, right? I don't want to stay on this too long, but I felt that it's important because it's the foundation, which is deeply rooted in faith, that have you where you are today, right? And so you found that love. You had those positive influences and resources and outlets. And even though you may not have quite felt the love like you felt you needed to, but he was still carrying you.
He was carrying me.
Yeah.
He was carrying me.
He was still carrying you. And so you talked about freedom. And when I think about freedom, I don't know why the first thing that came to my mind, you know, sometimes you have to explain it in crazy terms, right? So like if Thanksgiving coming up next week, and when you're eating your pants tight, you barely breathe,
baby,
feeling of release when you open up that button, and it's just, that's how you feel. That's how I feel. Let me not explain how you feel.
That is.
Describe that feeling of freedom when you finally, I mean, of course, we're fast forwarding, but when you finally felt free, not that situations changed, but you felt free. How does that make sense? Make that make sense.
Make it make sense. So I will say I just had a recent experience with so my sister-in-law and my nephew and I went to like kind of like a Sky Zone place.
Yeah.
That has like you're jumping everywhere. It's like a big old playground for like adults and kids, right?
Yeah.
So before we go in, there is this you know, my sister-in-law, or I don't even call her my sister-in-law, my sister, she was telling me there's this thing that you jump off of and it flies you around. I was like, oh, that sounds cool. I was like, let's get it. Let's go. Like, I'm ready. And so we get in there, we're strapping on the harness to get on this little fly thing that goes all the way around the whole building.
Yeah.
And we get up there. My sister goes first. I was like, okay, bet. She goes, we good. I'm height, right? Height. And so my nephew is in front of me. He takes a little minute, but he finally goes. And then so I get up there and girl, I was so like looking down. I was so terrified.
Yeah.
I was so terrified to the point where I was going to go back. I was like, I can't do this. I'm going back.
Yeah. So
the people that are like the people that are working there, they're at the bottom talking about jump. Like, people are literally cheering me on, talking about jump. And it took me a while, but like I faced that fear and I went for it. And I instantly felt freedom from that fear. That is what freedom is to me. That's what it feels like to me. Freedom makes you feel like you can do anything that God is asking you to do in the moment without hesitation. Okay, God, you want me to go over here? Okay, you want me to do that? Okay, let's go. Let's go.
Let's go.
Freedom is fully walking in obedience and walking in purpose. That's freedom.
Y'all, in this, I was gonna say this child, I'm trying to keep it professional. It's just
no, don't keep it professional. Keep it real, boo.
No, but Marquia, when I say that Marquia, people see the beauty, they see the status, they see the clients, they see all of that. That's great. And I am definitely excited about that. So I'm not taking anything away from it. But you guys, Marquia has really inspired me and my family, more so of where she's, what she's accomplished, but just how she walks in obedience. I mean, with a purpose, with focus, and anyway, she's going to get into that, but I just had to mention that when you talk about freedom, you're free to just go. You're not worried about what people say or think. You just do it. And so when you talk about the progression of her career, we're going to talk about seasons. Because like I said, I keep getting ahead, but she's going to kind of talk about that because as we go through this life, we go through various seasons and, a journey. And I just, I was sitting here thinking about seasons. When seasons change, sometimes it can get a little uncomfortable or there's some shifting. So I think about the allergies. When I get allergies, but I'm like, what, the season's about to change or whatever, but it's kind of like a warning so you can get ready and reposition for the next. And so when you talk about seasons, she's already talked about her foundation from childhood at a high level and just kind of what she went through with there. There was a lot more to that story that, is left untold, but that's where it started, right? So Marquia, walk us through your journey, right? Just capturing those key parts that paints the picture of where you are now. So let's start with college. Talk about the school you went to, where you studied, and kind of just that environment.
WSSU represents Rams. Let's go.
What's the well, I can't say it. My sister rolled her eyes.
Yeah, you can't say it because you did not go to the school.
I'm an honorary grad, but whatever. Wilmo said I was, so I am. Anyway,
whatever. So yeah, I went to college. Graduated with a sociology degree and social work minor. My last year of college, I did an internship at the children's home, and I was working in the group home, and whenever I graduated, they said, okay, we have this new position open called a community support counselor. I was like, okay, sounds interesting, cool. And so I was like, well, bet, I got a guaranteed job after I get out of college. That's what's up, So when that time came, I was in Winston-Salem. I was by myself because everyone else had went home. They were starting their careers. And I was just, it was a triggering moment for me because it brought back that feeling of loneliness. I was like, oh, this doesn't feel good. Right.
And just to tie it in, when you say the feeling of loneliness, that goes back to the tragedy when that occurred.
Goes back to the tragedy. Exactly. So it was a trigger for me. So anyways, I kept going because God said, God, stick with it, and fill it out and see, how it works, going forward. So I worked this job. And it was just so depressing. It was so depressing. And I was just like, Lord, am I supposed to be doing this? Because this don't feel right. It's not bringing me any joy. It's not, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? So anyways, long story short, with that piece of it, I decided and I felt something was pulling me to Maryland or to the DC area. Of course, now we know Holy Spirit, right? So I called up my dad and I was like, look, I'm about to come to Maryland. I don't know why, but he was like, come on, like, come stay with us, whatever. So I was like, okay, cool. So I was hesitant because it was a change and I knew there was going to be a shift there. So packed up, left. And I was like, okay, God, we doing this? Okay, let's go. So got up to Maryland. Girl, I did not know what I was doing. I was like literally in my head, like, what are you doing? Like, you just graduated from college. You had a job that was lined up for you. Why did you leave?
Yeah.
And so, but I'm like, God, you're pulling me this, to Maryland. There must be an opportunity or something here for me.
Yes.
So got to Maryland. And that was where I discovered not where I really discovered my love for makeup, because I had discovered my love for makeup a while back. So in college, I used to play with makeup, and actually I learned my makeup skills from my sisters.
But really, you should say Frankie, because we learned from her. So
okay, well, Frankie.
Give Frankie.
I used to be so like mesmerized by you all because I wasn't really allowed to wear makeup in high school, but I used to always like look at y'all and like, oh, I want to wear makeup. And y'all did it so beautifully. So y'all were actually really my introduction into makeup.
Oh, wow.
So when I moved
in a whole nother level.
I just practice, girl. I practice.
Yeah.
So then when I got to Maryland, I started looking for all these social work positions and nonprofits, these government jobs. And if anybody knows anything about government jobs from back then, you had to do like these long KSAs in order to apply to a government job. And I was like, oh gosh, this is for the birds. Like, I just can't do this. This is not it. And I just kept feeling like that was not it.
Yeah.
So then, I was chilling. I was in DC and I was chilling. I was at my dad's house and I was not even trying to think about getting a job until one day. I was chilling a little too hard. I was chilling a little too hard. And my dad, I remember I was sitting outside and my dad came out there and he was just like, all right, so what's the plan? What are we doing? What's going on? What is it that you want to do? And I said, well, I think I want to do makeup. So he was like, well, go do makeup. If that's what you want to do, go do it. And I was like, okay. But at the time I was like, but that doesn't seem like a career, you know? Because back then it wasn't popular to be a
And
makeup
that's what I
artist.
was gonna say. Call that out. Because
It wasn't popular to be a makeup artist back then. It was just like, you know, a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, maybe, you know, I could do this until I find like a real job, right? So, you know, I always loved the Mac girls. They always look polished and, you know, just fly, right? So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go wear my all black and look like a makeup artist. And I'm going to go and apply for this position. And after about 5 interviews, they ended up hiring me. I didn't have no real experience doing makeup, but they hired me. And again, I took that job as a hobby because I was like, ain't no way I'm going to make a career out of being a makeup artist. So fast forward, I'm working as a makeup artist, but I'm loving it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so dope. Like, I remember doing my first client and, well, not my first client. I saw a lady, she was walking around the counter, you know, aimlessly, just kind of browsing, kind of looked like she was going through some stuff. So I was like, hey, you know, I'm trying to practice on anybody, right? Because I want to get my skills up.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, you know, you want a makeover? So she was like, I mean, yeah, I guess that's fine. So she came, sat in my chair, did her makeup. And when she looked in the mirror, it was as if it was just like it's an instant glow. She was just like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe I look like this. Not in a bad way, because I did a good job.
Yeah.
But she was like, and she started crying.
Wow.
She started crying, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can really change people's confidence. I can make them feel beautiful. I can make them feel loved. And I was like, this is it. This is what I want to do. I'm about to cry, but I'm like, this is my career.
Yeah.
I can do this.
Yeah.
So again, it's not popular to be a makeup artist right now. So, you know, it was kind of discouraging because, you know, I did see people that I graduated with, you know, getting jobs as doctors and lawyers and, you know, really doing these, you know, big time corporate jobs.
Yeah.
And I'm just a makeup artist.
Just a makeup artist.
I'm just a makeup artist. Yeah. And, you know, even when I would meet people, and people are very status driven here. And when I would meet them or tell them I was a makeup artist, it was like, oh, that's all you do. And I was like, yeah. And it made me feel very insecure. And I was just like, oh gosh. I say, okay, God, am I doing the right thing? Is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Because it don't feel right. I feel very insecure right now. Yeah. So that was one part of it, but God did eventually snatch me up like, no, you are not just a makeup artist.
Yeah.
You are Marquia.
Yeah.
And I have you here. I have you here in this position at this appointed time for a reason. So there's a plan. I just need you to follow it. I'm like,
what you're describing is key, because he told you your identity. He helped you see your true identity.
He did.
When we talk about freedom, because then it doesn't matter who came after to try to tell you, you know, whatever. It's like, okay, that's fine. Because you know that's what, you know. So, but he had to tell you that, not others.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you're doing makeup, right? So we're going to kind of fast forward now back to the current state. You're doing makeup, still trying to find your way. I know you had a lot of other opportunities and partnerships, and just saw how your business just continued to grow, right? So let's talk about vision. You know, I always describe vision as what do you see with your eyes closed? Because you can't have vision and you're looking at the reality. That's not vision. You can't have vision and it's something that's attainable with your hands.
That's not vision.
Right? It's gotta
That's
be
not vision.
But what's interesting about the vision that God gave you is it was just talk about the vision that God gave you. Let me not.
Well, let me back up a little bit because I think I need to kind of walk through the insecurities that I was feeling.
Yes.
Growing into my career.
Gotcha.
Because the fact that I wasn't doing what was normal, God had to really work on me to build my confidence.
Absolutely.
I knew that he loved me, but I was waiting for, something. I was waiting for something else. Like I was waiting, like, Lord, just, give me a sign of if this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I was, always trying to figure him out and figure out where he was taking me. So then, then here comes the comparison trap. And now I'm comparing myself to other people and what they're doing. Yeah. Right. And again, that is an insecurity right there. So he really had to work on my heart and let me know that you are a masterpiece. You are a masterpiece. Mm-hmm. And I have a plan for you. Again, I need you to be obedient and I need you to stick with the plan. So, okay, if you say so, okay. Let's go. So walking through the journey, even stepping out on faith with becoming a freelance artist or starting my own business and leaving a job that gave me a secure income. Yeah. That was a big part of the shift. And that was just another season. Yeah. So, again, he has to keep reminding me, and that's the importance of really having that relationship with him and inviting him into my daily, because he confirms who I am. Absolutely. So yes. Yeah. As he's showing me unconditional love, it's breaking chains of insecurity, it's breaking chains of guilt, it's breaking chains of you're worth living, you're here for a reason. Mm-hmm. So he gave me the confidence to move forward in his plan. Absolutely. Yeah. I'm glad you painted that picture, because again, when people see who you are today, you meaning whomever that's successful, mm-hmm. They don't think about that stuff. Mm-mm. Even when I don't like to talk too much, but I'm not going to call them haters. Haters, it is what it is, haters, right? But it's like you're hating, but you don't know the story. Mm. You don't know the story, and so I think we really need to be intentional about telling our story, whatever part that God allows us to tell. Mm-hmm. People are still going to think and do whatever they want, but people need some perspective shifting and gaining, and just recognizing that all of these people, whether you like them or not, everybody has a story. Yeah. What is their story? Even the person that's hating, what is it within you that's causing you to hate on somebody else's success? Right? And what about their story that they can possibly share to break that chain, that negative chain? I don't mean to go down that line, but I think it's important because, like you said, people are so status driven and they don't see the story. They don't see the heart. Right? So, and it's all about the heart. Yes. It's all about the heart. Yes. Yes. And that goes back to love. Yeah. Right? But and through the journey, make no mistake, it is, a lot of, back and forth. Absolutely. With God. It's a lot of back and forth. Absolutely. Because we are human and we are emotional. And there were times in my adulthood, really up until probably about 4 or 5 years ago, where I still felt pain from my childhood. Mm-hmm. And I still felt pain from the loss of my brother.
Mhm.
And I still felt guilt. And there's so much back and forth. But the point is not to stay there, not to stay stuck in that. We're going to feel it, because I will never be the same after losing my brother. Yeah. I will never be the same. But, I know who God is, and I know the power that he has put in me.
Absolutely.
And I'm able to walk forward with that power.
And that's the thing when people talk, when I speak faith, and I'm always speaking faith, and they're like, what? But you're human. Yeah.
Yeah.
Human, excuse me. That's why his spirit lives within us to help us through. But it's a choice. That sometimes I choose not to pray, or I choose to be in my feelings. And there's other times I choose to operate in his power, because I'm like, we're not doing that.
No,
we're not. So it's a choice.
It's a choice.
Yeah. And what you described was a relationship. It's a relationship. What relationship that's just perfect and you're walking? I don't care how perfect the person is. You're going to battle. You're going to question, but you grow through that, right? And so getting back to the vision, I'm glad you painted that, because when God gives us vision, there are insecurities and doubts there. It's like, huh? What?
And you want me to do what?
You want to do what? How? Where? What are we seeing? Just a whole bunch of questions. But talk about, you mentioned that lady at MAC and how you made her feel and how she got emotional. So, what I like to describe it is a ministry, because you're making people feel good, you're making people feel love, you're changing their world, literally, right? How is that connected to the vision God told you before you started in what you're doing now, as far as working with powerful women?
Yes. So probably about 4 years ago, 2017, I remember in the beginning of 2017, I wrote in my journal, I want to work with powerful women of color.
Okay.
That's wrote it out. Wrote it out. I didn't know why I was writing it out. It sounded crazy, but when I wrote it, I wasn't thinking, I was thinking I'm going to work with some powerful women. But I feel like when he put that vision in me, that it was not going to be what I thought it was going to be. Like I knew there was a purpose in him saying that.
Yeah.
Or him giving me that vision. Because I think we get, and I'm going to say we, not I, but, people in general, when God gives them a vision, or if they take on, say, I'm working with a celebrity, and, that's a status for me. Like I'm working with a celebrity. That's it. And that's what I do. Right. But for me, it's more so, okay, God, what is my purpose in working with this powerful woman? What is it that you need me to do when I walk through the door? So for me, it's more so purpose. It's not the person, because I'm doing purpose with a bride. I'm doing purpose with a mom that's pregnant and doing her maternity shoot.
Yep.
I'm doing purpose with a girl that's turning 18, having her 18th birthday. It's God, what do you need me to do when I meet this client? I don't care who it is, whether it is the most powerful woman in the world, or it's just somebody on the street that want their makeup done. Everybody is getting purpose.
Yeah.
So
everybody's getting purpose. I like that.
Everybody is gonna get this purpose.
Yeah, I like it.
But no, I feel like he had when he gave me the vision, I automatically felt that he knew I was ready.
Yeah. Yep.
He knew I was ready, and all I kept hearing is you're prepared.
Absolutely.
Not because of who I'm going to send you to, but you're prepared to walk in there and be what I need you to be. And say what I need you to say.
And not just that, but then to do what I need you to do. You guys, if you haven't seen her work, I'm not saying this because she's my little grown sister. Her work to this day, no shade against any other makeup artist, but I'm just like, yo, I mean, consistent glow in every, like she said, in every client. So it's more than just about makeup. It's him working through that. And she stays humble because of that perspective, because Marquia has worked with other very powerful people, right? But I'm, I'll be wanting, can I tell? No, because it's not about that.
I mean, I can talk about who I've worked with. It's on my website.
Oh, okay. But
I mean, for me, that I'm not going to say it doesn't matter, because it does matter, because God, I feel like the higher you go, the lower you go.
Yep.
Because you are serving. Serving.
I love it.
So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who he puts me in the room with. I know he chose me for that moment. And I know he chose me to be in that room to fulfill his purpose.
Absolutely. And when you have that perspective, like not many people go to work or even have a conversation or do whatever and going with that mindset of purpose. When I'm saying doing makeup, because people will probably be like, oh, I'm just doing a job. It is so much more than that.
It is.
Even if you're going to the grocery store, God, what is the purpose in me coming to this particular store at this particular time?
Everything. In every single detail, because you know what? I don't want to do anything without him. If he is not in the midst of it, I don't want it.
Yeah.
So it could very well be a celebrity that calls. If God tells me that ain't your assignment, that's not you don't need to go there. Guess who ain't going?
Exactly. And sometimes that can be hard, even though, that's our position, but that can be hard because if that assignment or that opportunity is a big one by way of maybe next level or money or connection, you think, oh, that's your ticket. And if he's like, no, it's like, you sure? But I really
want to go. I really want to go. But you said so. Okay, cool.
Yeah. That's the hard part about walking in obedience, because it's not always easy and it's not always comfortable.
Yeah.
Not at all.
And there are some clients that I actually, I'm one to, like, if somebody emails me and I'm not available, I'm going to pass that on to the next artist that is available.
Absolutely.
Because let everybody shine.
Everybody.
I am trying to keep everything to myself. And I heard a quote, if one candle, if it's lit and it lights another, it doesn't make the other candle less lit, less lit. Everybody's lit.
We all can be lit together.
Share the witness.
Seriously though.
Yeah.
One of my friends. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, one of my friends, he always says this quote, lift as you climb. And I think that's important. But some people want to push away as live. That you lifting a person is actually probably helping you as well. You just don't know.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is.
So I want to touch on, and I think this is the last point here, distractions. Right? There are all kinds of distractions around us. Even ourselves, we can be a distraction.
Yeah.
How do you balance it all? Because you do a lot. I mean, the picture you painted here is just a small piece of the magnitude of what you do, right?
Yeah.
But just as you're continuing to walk in purpose and listening for what he's telling you, how he's guiding you, you getting prepared, how do you stay focused and how do you balance it all?
Yeah. I think for me, it's really day by day for me. It's day by day. And I know when I get up, I'm automatically like, Holy Spirit, I need you to guide my day.
Absolutely.
Let me know what it is I'm supposed to be doing. And that is in everything. That is in being a wife.
Yep.
That is in being a daughter. That is in my career as well. And as I'm working with my clients, and being focused. And also the company you keep is key. Key.
Well, key. That was corny, but I mean, key. It really is. You just now get it.
I did.
Oh,
I did. No, but seriously, that can really make or break you. You know, the people that you have in your ear, that could totally be a distraction.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So keeping people that actually are feeding me his goodness, that's what I need to keep me going. And that's what I need to block out distractions.
Absolutely. That is true. It's a mix of things, but you have to stay focused through it all.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, sometimes those distractions though are a test, right? You want to talk about that a little bit?
Oh, wait.
To that?
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, because a lot of times we're thinking, and I'm not sitting here saying, oh, God tests us or whatever, but regardless, for me, I look at it as a test. Like, do you really want what you say you want? Are you really ready? Are you really focused? Do you really have the confidence in knowing that you're going to get through this, right? Yeah. And so again, it's thinking of your journey, and I don't know if there are any particular distractions that comes to mind that you had to focus through, or even entertain, but you know, do it purposely where it did not get you off track. Just curious, because a lot of people deal with so much, and when the distractions come, they think, oh man, it's the end, or they can't do it, and then they feel defeated. We feel defeated, but we have to choose. Again, going back to that choice of who you're going to focus on and believe on. So I'm just curious if you have any additional thoughts on that as it relates to distractions.
Well, I think also, like you said, what comes to mind is just knowing just keeping focus on being purposeful, because I have a story. So I have a story. I was in, and this could also be, I could have distracted myself, but because I was looking to God and asking him what my purpose was, then it didn't throw me off.
Got you.
So we were campaigning for Kamala's campaign. And, you know, of course, I'm like, okay, God, what is it that you need me to do today? You know, of course, I'm going in there. We're going to do this glam. But what is it that you need? You know, if there's anything else you need me to do, let me know. So I finished doing her makeup. One of the aides was there, and she was just scrambling. I mean, like, just papers everywhere. You know, she's rushing. She's trying to, you know, do this, do that. And, you know, I looked at her and I was just like, what do you need me to do? I was like, what do you need me to do? Now, in that moment, I could have chose to just be a makeup artist and just do what I thought I was supposed to do, which was do makeup and go home. Or I could be effective. And that's my thing. It's just like, how can I be effective in the moment? So I'm like, what do you need me to do? She was like, well, I got to go, you know, get the coffee. I was like, where is the coffee? I'm gonna go get it.
Let me help.
So, mind you, we're in a hotel. We're on the 10th floor. Coffee's all the way on the first level, all the way on the other side of the hotel. Who didn't run to go get that coffee that she needed? Because I understood the assignment. I understood why I was there. I understood that okay, we need to get this coffee so this powerful woman can go and be great and do what she needs to do.
Yeah.
And I think people get tripped up because it's like, that ain't my job. That ain't what I'm supposed to do. And that's a distraction because no,
that's good.
You're there to be effective. You're there to be purposeful. You're there to, my thing is, I don't want to leave an environment. I don't want to leave an environment like it was. I want to be effective and leave a light before I leave.
Absolutely.
So
and what you just described, what you described yourself as a servant leader.
Yes.
Which are the best types of leaders. So there's nothing beneath you, nothing too small that you can't do.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's not your job description, go get coffee, but you want it to help. You want it to be effective, right? Because if she's distracted, it can potentially distract you. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
But even more than that, you're looking to see where that's stuck out. Be effective in the moment.
Be effective. Because why are you there?
You're there just to do makeup, sis. Nothing else.
No. I'm not effective until the assignment is complete and I'm getting a well done from him. That's effective. If I can go home, when I have done that, I can go home and know that, okay, we did what we were supposed to do today.
Assignment complete. You know that ringing out for me. But yeah, your assignment for that day. Complete.
Yes, complete.
And some assignments not going to feel so good. Some are going to give you so much joy.
Well, that assignment really didn't feel good because I had to run like really fast. That assignment got me a little out of breath, but
well, it also served purpose because I'm sure you didn't have time to work out. So
there you go.
Yeah, but no, I think it's awesome, and I love how you describe that.
Yeah,
a distraction is you thinking that's not your job. You're being distracted by what you should be doing versus, you know what I'm saying? So that's a good twist on it. I keep looking down because I was trying to monitor the chat, and I have somebody that's assisting me, and there are no questions. There's just a whole bunch of amens and comments and quoting. So after, for those who are watching after the live, and maybe later this week, I won't assume Marquia has time, but we're going to look through just to kind of engage, especially if there are comments or questions. I would love for you, especially Marquia, to be able to address or speak to in the chat. You don't do it right away, but whenever you have a moment,
absolutely,
kind of look through. But I do have a question, and this is, I like to be real, right? So
keep it real, sis. Keep it real.
Don't get me laughing.
Sorry. Okay, go ahead.
So, like I said, you have worked with some big names, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't want to just come out and mention it because I don't know what's appropriate, what's not. But you've worked with a lot of big names. How do you? And I know you go in there for purpose. I get purpose and all of that, but when you're in the room or presence with someone like that you admire or like it's, I guess, starstruck is what how do you stay focused? How do you stay? I mean, this is just a general question, not just for somebody that does makeup, but just moving in different spaces.
Yeah.
How do you make sure you stay focused and on assignment or in assignment, however you want to describe it, without getting caught up in the hype? Because what I see a lot in kind of what I want people to know about you is you are extremely humble. Now, so as a beauty artist and a makeup influencer or beauty influencer, or however the term goes, you have to do a lot of posting of yourself, of others, of your work, just do things a little that may seem extra, but it's a part of the industry.
Right.
But even in how you do that and what you choose to promote versus not, like there's a lot of people you've worked with, or just cool spaces you've been in that you never put out there. Whereas other people are very anxious and hungry to like take a selfie and do this and do that. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? Because we all want to be in those spaces. But how do you stay grounded and focused? Or like you go in the bathroom and yell and come back out? Just kind of talk about how do you show up and not be a distraction because of where you are If that makes sense.
Well, because, I do that because when I walk in there, it's not about me. It is not about me. It's about getting the job done. It's about completing the assignment. So I like to remove myself and focus on what it is that God needs me to focus on.
Absolutely.
Because if you put yourself, if I'm saying, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, oh my gosh, I'm doing this person, like that's not sustainable. It's not sustainable because then you feel anxious, then you feel, scared or nervous or all these kind of emotions. But if you remove yourself from the situation and you focus on, it's not about me, it's about my client. And it's about making sure that I do what I need to do while I'm here, then God is in control.
Absolutely.
And I'm not in control.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And again, it's just about being purpose driven.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm sure, there's some like, oh my God, or whatever, but you're still like, okay.
Yeah.
Let's get
I'm going to tell you the truth. Every time I pull up to a wedding to work with a bride, or I'm working with, a celeb or, whoever, I always feel, and I think we talked about this, I always feel like a little something in my stomach.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what is that? Yeah. It's like this little rumble in my stomach. But then I'm like, Holy Spirit, like I'm calling on him because I need him to take over.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I need him to take over, and I need him to, there's been times where, I just had a moment where I had to do makeup in like 15 minutes.
Oh, wow.
I'm talking about a full face, maybe 20, but it felt like 15.
That's
but I had to do a full face for TV. And 15 minutes. So you talk about, but I was so calm because I was just like, God, you have me here for a reason. I know that you are going to help me to complete this assignment. Absolutely. So, let's go.
Absolutely.
I got 15, 20 minutes. What we going to do?
Absolutely.
What we going to do?
Actually, what you going to do?
What you look right. What you going to do?
What you going to do?
I'm so serious. Because,
yeah, me too.
Yeah. If I'm trying to go off of my own strength,
you ain't got it.
Do a 20-minute makeup for what you gonna do?
What you gonna
like
do?
Michael Tyson, like Pastor Michael Tyson. So we out here.
So we out here. I love it. But before we close, this just came to me. I think it's important for those who are like new to the industry or maybe trying to consider this industry as a route to go. What advice do you have or recommendation in reference to those who are new or maybe who are already in there? Just some thoughts or feedback you can provide
for people that are coming into the makeup industry.
New to it.
I would say to always stay, if you are, because it is a faith journey. This ride right here is a faith journey. You are literally, wondering if you're going to get clients. You're wondering if, the client likes the makeup job that you just did, trusting God through your journey of being a makeup artist and becoming a makeup artist is key. And seeking his vision for you. What did he tell you his vision is? Absolutely. For you? Because, although you may want to work with, whoever, he may want you to go the opposite direction. Because I'm going to be honest, you know, when I first got into the makeup industry, I said, ooh, I want to work with celebrities. I want to, you know, I want to, that was like the goal, you know, we were like, I want to work with celebrities. But then there was a shift because God was like, no, I want you to do, I have a plan for you. It ain't going to be, I mean, he has made me pass up numerous of people because he's just like, that ain't it.
That ain't it.
And they were some big time people at the time, you know, and, you know, don't think because that is placed in front of you, that's going to be the jump start of your career, because God may not be calling you there. He may be calling you bigger. Don't settle yourself.
Don't settle for good when he has great. That's not my quote. I don't know whose quote that is, but
that's your quote now.
Well, I ain't trying to take, look, don't get me into it. That's not my quote, I said. Let's not start. But no, this has been fun. That's how I would describe it. And inspiring. Right. And you brought back a lot to memory in reference to your journey. And again, I just say I'm just proud of you. And I know so many others are, but just proud of you. And where you are now, while people may think you've arrived because you're in the White House. And again, I'm not taking anything away from that, because that's big. But that is nowhere compared to where God is taking you. And so my prayer is that you will stay on this track.
Yes.
And as you continue to climb, you will continue to lift, because that's what you've always done. And what I see with my eyes closed is a lot. That's all I can say, a lot. And I'm here for it. I'm excited. So, and don't forget about the Carpes who helped you start this journey. Let me stop. I'm joking. I'm being, you know, now, you just said it's not about you. What did I just do?
It ain't about you, sis.
I was just using the example just to demonstrate what should I do. Okay. But no, I really appreciate you taking this time, because I know you're busy, your pizza cold, waiting to eat dinner with you. But
I ain't gonna eat it.
Yeah. This has been awesome. So for everyone who has joined us, thank you guys for rocking with us. I hope that people got inspired, perspective, you know, just laughter. It's just so much more. So if you're interested, if you're not already connected to Marquia, you're interested in following her, Marquia, please give your social media handle. I'm not sure if you're still on YouTube as well. Can you provide that information?
So yes, so Instagram, it's glam_qui, and that's spelled QUI. Facebook, GlamQui Artistry. I'm sorry. I got on Facebook.
You know which account she uses more.
Twitter is glam_.
Yes, glam_.
Okay, yes. I'm not on Twitter.
Are you still on YouTube?
I am not on YouTube. I mean, I still have a channel on YouTube, but I'm not actively on YouTube.
Gotcha. But I guess the channel where she's most active is Instagram. So if you want some engagement, please go to Instagram.
Go to the IG, the good old
Facebook,
IG.
You may get a response maybe 2 months later, a month later. So who knows?
Oh.
But no, thank you. And so, like I said, everyone, thank you for joining. Before I officially close out, I do want to leave Marquia with the last words, whatever she wants to say to you guys before we leave. But again, thank you guys for tuning in. And I'm just saying this now because she's going to have the last word. Next month, we will have one more conversation, and it'll be the new year, which is weird. Like, we're already getting ready to be in December. But thank you guys for joining. Marquia, go ahead and close this out, whatever you want the people to know.
So I want to say how proud I am of you. And this is what I want to close out with. I am so proud of you. I am so proud of this platform that you have created. And it's going to change lives. I pray that it's already changing lives. And it's just opening the door for so much more. And I am just beyond excited for you. Yeah, I am.
Thank you. I was not. You weren't supposed to do that. I had
I'm
to quickly.
sorry.
You know how I felt that lump. I had to quickly catch up. I was not gonna cry.
We got through the whole thing without crying. Don't cry now.
Thank you, Lauren, for catching the tears. I didn't know how it was going to come out, but no, thank you. God is just good. We both are walking in our individual purpose, and we're coming together collectively in
Yes.
due time. So thankful. So before we leave, you know what we got to do?
Yes.
Selfie time.
Let's go.
You ready? You ready?
What am I doing? Ready?
Well, let me not try to do what you do. You see, I was about to look corny. Let me just do what I do. Ready? 1, 2. No, that ain't it. We'll take a selfie later. Bye, y'all. Thank you for joining. Hang on, Marquia. I'm in the recording, and then we'll connect after. But everyone have a good night.